Happy 2025. We made it to another year. I figured starting season 3 of Yards at the beginning of 2025, I would talk a little bit about music NFTs, since that's how I started season 2. It's probably how I started season 1. Music NFTs in 2025, if I had to predict anything, I would say that I'm not quite sure what is coming up next. If I had to look at the way things are going now, spending almost all of 2024 dealing with meme coins, seeing a few attempts at turning songs into meme coins, and then the prevailing narrative moving toward AI agents. There's not a lot of space for music in there. A music-based agent doesn't quite make sense, even though Cerebro did release an album somehow. There are still music NFTs selling. I think that because 2024 was all bear market, I don't know if all bear market is the right term, but leading into 2024, we started shifting toward this low price, high quantity model even more than I would say we were. We moved away from exclusive digital files, we moved away from utility, we moved away from, I want to say, every aspect of NFTs that mattered in the years before. It makes me wonder if people will try to move back in that direction. Will we see another one-of-one music NFT platform? Will we see another low edition music NFT platform? Catalog and sound are both very different places than they were in 2023, which they're tech companies, they have to be, right? But it doesn't seem like artists are winning on the other side of that. If anything that AI is going to be able to provide, I would say that it's going to be a bit more access to being able to create our own things. Now that I've started coding websites and stuff using AI, I feel a little bit more confident about that, but I think that I might be the exception and not the rule. And it doesn't seem like people are interested in protocols and dashboards and stuff anymore. There's not money in it, and because this whole ecosystem is VC backed, everyone has to figure out where the money is. I don't think that's good or bad. It just is what it is. I think a lot of the artists who are doing really well on chain musically are just online now. I'd say one of the more notorious is Iman Europe. Took a noisy step away from Web3, a few posts about it, a couple of when you finally leave Web3 type posts, which I think is possibly right. The idea was always that online, which is Web 2, and on-chain, which is Web 3, were supposed to blur themselves, and they didn't quite make it in the way that we expected. It's easier if you were already an online artist to continue to be online. I unfortunately was not very online and was very on-chain. So my online journey is just beginning. I think if there is an artist who has a wonderful, wonderful, fantastic breakout year, who has spent time in Web3, and they attribute part of that success to Web3, we might have a little movement, a little interest, but I don't know if that's true. I don't know. I guess we'll see. It's a lot of times when artists succeed, their stories don't come out in the terms of what were the specific things that happened. So I guess we'll see. I'm enjoying the mix of being online and on-chain personally. There could be some things happening in the blockchain, not NFTs aspect of music on-chain. Blockchain enables a lot of possible solutions for the music industry, solutions that the music industry at large might not be pumped about, but they're there. Ease of payment, ease of splits, ease of access to information, that kind of stuff. I think that sort of thing being on chain, at least being public, is wonderful. And then, of course, crypto and, automated money, programmable money. Is that what you guys say? Programmable money? That is wonderful. And I think we're a long way from that. I think unless the industry can figure out who they can buy or what they can build to be in front of it, that's going to be the thing that determines it. I think a lot of independent artists, though, will benefit from blockchain, not NFTs. I'm just going to put out more songs. I think I'm interested in putting out a lower quantity of work that creates access to things, and not in a super fan way. I think that we fucked up by making this so super fan focused. I think that there are ways to impact culture, even on chain, while being a music artist. And we just haven't figured it out. I think if you look at memes and how those proliferate and how people trade on those and those get value, being an artist is just a longer game, possibly riskier, maybe less risky considering how many memes exist, how many tokens get minted on Pump or whatever every day. But then the question is, do we want to all become meme coins? I also want to go back to this video I did, might have been in season 2, about creators possibly being invested in. I think the caption for the video might have been like, don't be surprised if your favorite creator is VC backed. I think that's still possible. I think a lot of artists, especially those who exist in Web3, are realizing that they're much more, or rather they're much less like music artists and much more like a creative agency type of idea. They're more of a broad creative project than they are an artist. I hope that phrases like world building and lore don't get blown out of proportion. We'll see. I think if we can figure it out, and I don't think it's impossible, but if we can figure it out, I think that curation has a place. I think that things like Factory.fm will continue to exist. Looking at Factory as sort of a possible blueprint or baseline that leads us to tastemakers, that leads us to curated playlists, that leads us to curated shopping lists, that leads us to all these different things that the blockchain kind of enables, could be interesting. That might create incentive for artists to release music and create relationships and blah, blah, blah. All the stuff that an online artist has to do anyway. I'm just going to do my best. Thank you for continuing to join me. I'll catch you guys next time.